our Winter Heroes and formally our final Special Heroes banner of the year. It's not our final banner, is it? Because we should have a Legendary banner at the end of the year, and that will be the formal final banner. But these are still big heroes because Christmas and Winter. By the way, do you refer to these heroes as Christmas or Winter heroes?
Winter for myself, just because it's easier to differentiate and like not really. I guess it's more simple than just, oh yeah, it's definitely Christmas, but you call it whatever you want.
I've personally said Christmas every single year, but it's more fitting to say winter. It's just they always dress in these Christmas themed outfits anyways, so it's hard. Yeah.
Like Ignatz, for example, is very Christmassy.
Yeah, he's literally dressed like Santa and an elf and carrying a tree with a present. He's yeah, that does not look like winter wear. That looks like Christmas wear to me, chat.
Exactly.
All right, well, quick peek at all the stats. I think everyone's been getting to see everything they want to see. Manuela especially. My God, she's good. Wow. That makes no sense.
Right after I spent all my orbs. So
Ignatz. Holy crap. Ignatz. He's so good. That's not even fair. Rest in peace, Felix. What's the point of Felix anymore? Oh, he has more defense.
A lot better than I expected, yeah.
Yeah. He's so fast. 40 speed base. The builds that you ran on Felix are all going to be viable on Ignatz. Oh my. Okay, it's not as bad as Shamir versus Ninja Hannah because that's a 1-to-1 power creep. There is no reason to use Ninja Hannah over Shamir. None at all. Ignatz versus Felix, it's blue versus Carlos, but I would still say Carlos is a better color to take, especially in a Savior tank. And his stats are better. His stats are so much better. The only thing is, I think Felix has a bit more defense, but Ignatz with more res makes more sense in terms of, oh my God, I want Dex to be here so we can make fun of him. That's pretty toxic, I'm sorry. But he said he didn't believe Ignatz was gonna have a lot of res. Where's that Legion? Whatever, just blame it on Dex. Anyways, our free or easy to attain units are very, very good. Not that Artur, Mirabalis are anything to sleep over. Look at that min-maxing. 17 speed and 19 speed. They got it. And of course, we already knew Lysithea. Okay, let's start this. Harmonic Lysithea has 38 HP, 42 attack, 40 speed, 19 defense, and 23 res. And she has a super boon in attack and speed and res. Wow, she has triple super boons. And then a super bane in HP, and her BST is it really 162? Doesn't that feel really low?
No, it's the same as Duo Corins.
All right, hero number 1. Gifted Students. It's funny how their original versions both have prodigies as their epithets, their titles. So yeah, it's Lysithea, Harmonic Lysithea with Lute. So real quick reminder, guys, of her kit. Sweet Yule Log, Sling ability at start combat if units HP is over 25%, attack speed +6 during combat, and grants effect to units based off of unit speed. So if you have under 9 speed, she essentially gets Desperation, equal or under 9 speed. And if you have over 10 speed, it becomes a Brave effect, so she could essentially quad. Very scary unit. We did a comparison between her and Ninja Corrin. In effect, they are very similar. Now, they're not 1-to-1. I mean, I think this should be obvious. If you're a dual hero, you will score more than a harmonic hero. So Sigma Sensei doesn't have to say that again, right, Sigma Sensei? Huh? But that's just obvious. I try not to say everything obvious, otherwise it'll just make things even longer, right? It's also colorless versus green, pretty obvious. But in terms of the units themselves, are very, very close to each other. It's just Lysithea hits harder, while dual Corrin has better dual skill. That's basically the biggest difference, I would say. So, outside that, Moonbow, Sparrow 3, AR Far Trace 3, and C Feud 3, which is, if she goes against colorless units or units that are being supported by colorless units, they either lose stats or their skills don't work. So this is actually really good because if you fight against Flame, can ignore, does it actually shut down Flame's damage reduction?
Yeah, every single
feels
time
really
you
weird.
fight somebody.
Yeah, so that's why I think she's better than Corrin, especially in Ether 8's defenses, because while Corrin does do better against Spectre, anything else with Flame support just doesn't work. And she has a better matchup against, say, Fallen Edelgard, because that's colorless. So I do think Lysithea is very viable and very special in terms of Ether 8's defense. And as a kit, that's really good. So yeah, excellent hero. Wait, did Corrin also have Swiss Barrel?
She had attack speed
push?
4, I believe, yeah.
That's like hardly a difference. I don't know why they do it stuff like that. All right, in terms of her resident skill, guys, now that's why it's really different. I think Lysithea is better on Ether Raid's defense, unless you're really afraid of vectors, whereas Dual Corrin's better on for arena and scoring purposes, and of course, because her dual skill on Corrin is an extra action, whereas Lysithea is bonus doubler. Do you still value bonus doubler?
I have never valued bonus doubler.
I figured. Most people do not value bonus doubler, so I don't blame them there because it's whatever. But that's the thing, Lysithea is a better tank buster in essence because she buffs herself for +6 attack, and if she gets attack speed +4 during combat, and with the bonus doubler stats, she's going to hit very, very hard. And unlike Corrin, she never took a handicap in terms of her weapon's damage output because it's not a true brave weapon, even though it can function as one. So that's the entire thing about Lysithea. She's like Corrin, except she hits harder and does not score as well, and does not have as good of a dual skill, so that's that. Am I missing anything? I just talked for like 5 minutes straight.
Nope, pretty much just a huge attack ball.
And she's super cute. Cuter, actually. Who's cuter, guys? Lysithea and Lute or Corrin and Lys? Weird
Overall, Lysithea and the Lute, but Corrin and Elise has a Lys, so I'm biased to Elise.
Fair enough. Okay, she can reach 100 speed and 110 attack with her homework skill, or 90 speed and 100 attack without it. That's great. All right, so let's do some comparisons because I think that's the only way to really display how good this unit is. And make no mistake, she's great. First comparison. Hey, chat. Don't they look similar? They look exactly the same.
Just a few numbers switched around.
Yeah. Basically, defense and res got switched, chat, and Lysithea has one more attack. So 38 HP versus 38 HP, match. 41 attack versus 42, 1 point advantage for Lysithea, which is significant because Corrin's weapon already hits less, but it does have true damage, but it doesn't have sling. So it's really interesting. 40 speed versus 40 speed match, and of course, defense and res of 23 versus 19, and then 20 versus 23. Basically just swapped it around. It's basically another moment where Eyes copied its own homework, but the problem is they copied the homework too soon because Corrin's what, 1 month old?
Pretty much.
Yeah. It's too early for this, chat. It's too early to do a hero that's so similar. But they're essentially quad. They are categorized as quad mage calves, which is a very small thing anyways. So I definitely thought this was really weird, but very similar. If you have a +10 Corrin, you're not going to need Lysithea. That's definitely for sure. She scores better, and in Ether Raid's defense, I mean, Vector's still a common matchup, so she should still do better overall. Until the meta shifts forward, in which case I think Lysithea will do better overall, but not much of a change there. All right, in terms of 1-to-1 comparisons, this is the closest one, but I don't like this one, so no. No. You, fine, but you're a dick.
Those attack stats are gonna really differ.
Yeah, I know, that's not gonna be fair. All right, so there are not a lot of good comparisons, guys. In terms of viable quad mage calves, there are only a handful, and we're about to go through them. So Severa is the closest thing to Lysithea because if you set her up by using one unit to attack first, Severa all of a sudden turns her weapon into a brave effect. AI can use it. It's just as a harder criteria than Lysithea. Lysithea, if she's over 10 speed from her opponent, she starts quadding, and if she's under or equal to 9, she starts using desperation. So yeah, I just generally think Lysithea has much easier conditions. So Severa feels like version 1, which feels bad because Severa is what, 10?
Yeah,
not 10
months. 10 months old, yeah.
Right. So it feels bad because in that quick amount of time, they basically released a much better version of herself. There is no reason to take Severa over Lysithea at this point. So real quick comparison, 39 HP versus 38, 1 point advantage for Severa. 37 attack versus 42, 5 point advantage for Lysithea. 40 speed versus 40 speed match, at least she does that. And are they just doing this for all the quad mage calves? They're just like altering their defense and reses. Like they're just so close, it's just a swap between defense and res.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right, but yeah, that's Severa. Unfortunately, she doesn't keep up at all. The new quad mages, which was unfortunate because when she came out, she was the quad cav mage, right? So
certainly the star of them.
Yep. All right, the OG quad cav mage with 36 HP, 28 attack, 36 speed, 22 defense, and 32 res. If Reinhardt did not exist, she would have definitely got her refined by now. But because Reinhardt exists, she hasn't. So Owen is my girl. I always believed in her. I've used her as a quad mage since the very start. She was one of my first heroes I've ever pulled. I love her. The thing is, she sucks now. What, you thought I couldn't say that? Ciao, Master Luigi. Anyways, 36 HP versus 38. 2-point advantage for Lysithea. 28.
And don't forget their huge might differences in weapon, and then Olwen's -5 speed.
Yes. Yes, I'm aware. I'm aware. Okay, 28 attack versus 42. That's 14 difference in terms of might. That's not even fair. 36 speed versus 40. Hey, she actually kind of keeps up in speed. Kind of. Kind of.
Only 9 less.
Only 9 less. And then 19 defense versus 22 and 32 res. Oh yeah, she has res versus 23. So she has a lot more res, but it doesn't really matter. All right, so we'll do these two in quick comparisons because it's just show her base version versus her new version. Child Project Lysithea versus Gifted Students Lysithea. 37 HP versus 38. 1-point advantage for new Lysithea. 41 attack versus 42. 1-point advantage for new Lysithea. 37 speed versus 40. 3-point advantage for new Lysithea. 21 defense versus 19. 2-point advantage for old Lysithea. And then 24 res versus 23. 1-point advantage for old Lysithea. Okay, so new Lysithea is just way better overall. But then old Lysithea is all about like nuking people, so it's a difference between a quad mage and a nuker, so fair enough. Brave Lysithea, though, is 40 HP versus 38, 2-point advantage for Brave, 40 attack versus 42, 2-point advantage for Harmonic Lysithea, 39 speed versus 40, 1-point advantage for Harmonic, 21 defense versus 19, 2-point advantage for Brave, and then 25 res versus 23, and 2-point advantage for Brave. It feels like the old Lysithias just have better, slightly better defensive stats, but lose overall in terms of offense. Once again, these are very different units. Lysithea kills calves. Is it just calves?
Effectiveness wise, yeah.
Okay. But the reality is she kills everything. Alright. But I think that's good enough in terms of comparisons. Okay, guys. Hero 2, Sugarplum Vision Mirabalis with 39 HP, 36 attack, 17 speed, 34 defense, and 36 res. Wow. That's a min-maxing. So what's the BSC total?
162, just like Lysithea.
Oh, that's true. Ah, because she's a refresher and she's flying. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So, for those who may have forgotten, well, no, for those who don't know, her Bane is in HP and speed, fair, and her boon is in res. Why res?
I guess she's generally made for res. I don't know.
Sure. Wait, are you saying original Lysithea's artist is the one who did Mirabalis?
Apparently, I don't know for sure because I don't have OG Lysithea, but I guess I took their word for it.
Wait, isn't that super insulting? Because Lysithea is literally on this banner. They're just like, oh, we don't want you to handle Lysithea. We'll have so the new guy do it. Oh man, that's depressing. Wow. But you know what? You're getting paid, so you can't argue that much. But still, that's kind of depressing, eh, chat? All right, with that said, though, the new Sugarplum Vision Mirabalis is not a bad unit. Dreamflake is better, basically a better version of her original weapon in that it, within 3 rows or 3 columns, center on unit, attack -5 on enemies who are penalized. And of course, it's a dagger hero. So that really helps. Being a ranged refresher is always better than being a melee refresher because melee moves first over range unless they have no assist skills. In other words, she has a higher chance of guaranteeing a refresh, which is really useful.
Yeah, it's just, and also her weapon is definitely going to have more impact. You'll notice it more than like with regular Mirabilis' weapon, since it's just -3 to like attack def and res versus attack -5 here.
Hey, I remember someone's Aetherate defense. What does your Mirabalis use, by the way?
Brave Sword plus with Death Blow 4 and Life and Death.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
I actually like her base weapon is just you. People like you put Brave Sword on her.
It works. It's gotten me a few cheeky kills.
Okay. All right, Whimsical Dream, Bracing Stance 3. Whimsical Dream, by the way, still stays the same. Attack +5 to target allies within 2 spaces, and then for 1 turn, and also attack -5 on nearest foes within 4 spaces. It's actually basically a cantrip, so it's not bad. I actually like that. She refreshed debuffs and buffs. But with that said, Bracing Stance 3 originally on Mila and now on Mirabalis. And then Speed Cantrip does not matter, don't use it. And then Ground Orders. Her kit isn't bad, it's just not great.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be changing it around if I get her. Certainly with B and C skills.
How would you build her then?
Well, B skill I'm not too sure yet. Probably maybe like a Sabotage, maybe like Aerobatics. But for the C skill, I'd probably go with no, I can't do that for that. Oh shoot, I don't know. Maybe a Rain? I don't even know. I'd have to spend a little time.
Yeah. So I would rather run Wings of Mercy on her unless you're with Catria. And
yeah, that's the thing. I'd probably be using Catria with it because I'd be using her on my Dark Defense over Eldigan.
Right. And I also think you probably switch to Bracing Stance to Fortress Defense Res, because the thing about Mirabalis is that she's good on Dark Seasons, which is weird, because you can get enough defense from Mirabalis to fight off Mila's.
Yeah,
on the flip side,
there was even a time before Debelrum Eldigan came out that I used Mirabalis on my Dark Defense because of her defense stat.
Wow, that's some desperate actions taken. But guys, because she is not, which is funny because I think if you have Eldigan, you're not going to switch over to Mirabalis, most likely because your Eldigan's already plus 10, mine's plus 10, I'm not switching off of him. But if you wanted a better refresher, it would be Mirabalis. I do think she's an upgrade over Eldigan. With that said though, she still will get destroyed by Fjorms. Fjorms isolation's based off HP, not defense, so she loses there. But the good news is, Mila's basically have no chance of stopping Mirabalis. If you have not on your team, plus 5 defense, it's basically hopeless. But if you want to guarantee it, Fortress Defense Res on her basically makes it impossible. At which point, she's just all up. She's even pretty hard to kill, which is pretty good. Yeah. Overall, I think it's easy to see the appeal of her, of being a superior refresher for Aether Raid's defense, being cute. And finally, we get a Mirabalis because of all of the heroes. Yeah. From her book, every hero had a special hero. Every hero. Triandra is the only iffy one because she was part of a duel, but she's still there. Mirabalis was the last one, so you finish it.
Yeah, I'm surprised they even gave Freyr one before.
Oh yeah, Freyr. Summer Freyr, that's right. All right. But yeah, chat, she is good. It's just you gotta know where you're using her. Okay, well, this is the closest comparison. Not that we really have good slow dagger refreshers anyway. You go really far back.
This
Anyways,
is IS confirming that they want you to build speed-based Mirabalis.
Wait, why?
One more speed.
Oh, okay.
And can use Ninja Katana.
No, these are dumb ideas. I bet you consider that because you did Brave Sword on her.
I did, and because it has one more might than Brave Sword.
You're so dumb. All right, Daydream Mirabalis with 30 HP versus Sugarplum Vision Mirabalis. 30 HP versus 39, 1 point advantage for new Mirabalis. 34 attack versus 36, 2 point advantage for new Mirabalis. 18 speed versus 17, basically the same, but old Mirabalis has 1 point advantage. And wow, that's dumb. 32 defense, 35 res versus 34 defense and 36 res. Mirabalis is just a new one. It's just straight up better defensively, offensively. No, she's just better. Period.
Yeah,
There's
pretty much.
No comparison. Unless you need a mythic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Unless
you need a mythic.
The attack stat, like you might not want that to be so high, but I don't mind personally.
That's 2 points. It's not.
Exactly.
It's probably not enough to be meaningful. That's one of the most annoying things.
Because of the ranged weapon might versus melee weapon might, so it kind of evens out anyway.
All right. Good job, Fireboy, because that is actually the closest thing. You know what's so funny? How many Quans have you guys seen in the past year and a half?
One, and it was in my own summoning session for him.
Yeah. Wait, is it a year and a half? How long has he been here? It is?
Yeah, about a year and a half, almost.
Yeah, okay. So, I'll be honest, chat. Despite Quan having so much promise, nobody gave a damn. Everyone just built Eldigan and then we're done with it, right? Because they're just like, free to play versus using orbs. However, that same argument can be applied here. Now, I do think Mirabalis is way better than Quan. So you see 40 HP versus 39, 1 point advantage for Quan, 41 attack versus 36, 5 point advantage for Quan, but not having more attack, I don't think is a good thing. 20 speed versus 17 speed, 3 point advantage for Quan, 36 defense versus 34, 2 point advantage for Quan, and 20 res versus 36. 16 point difference for Mirabalis. So he dies a lot easier.
Yeah,
and he
but
doesn't have a weapon.
He stacks defense a lot easier than Mirabalis, though, so he can like avoid melee even easier than Mirabalis. So that's like his main benefit.
But I don't care, and I don't think anyone did care, because I've seen like 2 Quans in that time used properly. I think other people just threw him in anyways.
Fun fact, these are the 2 dancers I want to build.
What? Why?
I don't know, there's something alluring about them that I want to build them for.
Okay, you're such a weirdo. Mirabalis hand reveal when? That's too lewd for stream, so we can't do that. Okay.
The hat is cute enough.
Oh yeah, the cat is so cute. I like this artist on Mirabalis. All right, with that said, the entire point is, this is a better Quan. Absolutely. Better weapon, better refresh, better overall stats. I value that 36 res because I think it's caught people off guard when all of a sudden they can't kill Mirabalis, and they're all of a sudden they find themselves in weird situations because of Mirabalis. So I agree with that.
Oh, also, I think something that might be like underrated, sort of, is like the fact that she is a dagger unit. So the dagger debuff she does inflict will automatically inflict her or activate her weapon. So even if she doesn't get her dance off, she'll still be activating her weapon after combat if she survives. So that's something that's pretty solid, I'd say.
Good pointer. If she attacks, debuffs, defense res -7, and then her weapon starts triggering. So yeah, as long as she's still alive afterwards, it works out. The most common blue refresher in the entire game, Eldigan. With 43 HP versus 39, 4-point advantage for Eldigan. 38 attack versus 36, 2-point advantage for Eldigan. 26 speed versus 17, 9-point advantage for Eldigan. 37 defense versus 34, 3-point advantage for Eldigan. And then 18 res versus 36, 18-point advantage for Mirabalis. But again, ranged doesn't move as cleanly, but if you just use no assist skills, then it works out anyways. But if you do, it might not. Using no skills does allow range to move before Eldigan does. With that said, though, he is free to play, and I think for most people, you make this upgrade if you can afford it. Would you agree with that?
Right, that's fair to say, I'd say.
Yeah. If you can afford it, I think this is definitely an upgrade over Eldigan, but if you can't afford it, I would rather just stay with Eldigan, because the next 3 months, you're going to need all the orbs you can get. Anniversary, A Hero Rises, the Mythic banner on February or something is insane.
Yeah, the like Mythic Remix and the main Legendary are both really good.
Yeah, so if you like Mirabalis, go for it. But otherwise, I think I'm happy with my Eldigan. So that's my thoughts anyways. Mirabalis aside, let's get to our Artur comparison now. And Artur stats. Oh man. Why do you like him again?
I like him because he's a pretty calm character like me. And he thinks he's smarter than he is, like me. So I can relate to that.
Okay. Does he also love old men?
I don't know. I don't know. If I could marry him to do so, I would.
Oh my god. No, all right, moving on. Artur is in the game finally from the Sacred Stones. His art is okay. I actually do like his art. Very clean. So, a saver unit with 43 HP, 41 attack, 19 speed, 35 defense, and 41 res. He has a total BST of 179.
Like, tome armors are generally lower than archer armors, but like, it's still a little lower than for other tome armors generally.
Okay, the entire point is like, I'm surprised he can't reach 185.
Yeah, it's strange. I don't know why they lower tome armor BST over archer armor BST.
Okay, guys, it's weird, but he has lower BST. Okay, so 179 BST total. He has Super Boon in attack and Super Boon in res. Oh, I would probably take attack or res, but if you are serious about using him, if you are, which by the way, is anyone actually gonna be serious about using him? I want to hear that.
He's just in my barracks.
Yeah, I think he's probably gonna keep your barracks as a collector or you use for like arena cell, but I wouldn't be serious about him. But he is good. Snow Glow Plus is amazing. If within space of two spaces of an ally, attack res +5, and unity effect. So in other words, you can't debuff him or he gets more stats. He also has Iceberg, Auto Hull up 3, and finally introduces DR Far Saves 3 to the game, which is defense res +4 and coverage of 2 for range attacks for his allies. He's very good fodder. If only you could take his weapon and his C slot. He would be amazing.
Thankfully, DR Farsight 2 is only 2 less stats, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah. But I don't think I have OCD. I don't. But even then, it would bother me. Like, yeah. Could you do it?
Absolutely. For this one, maybe just because I don't really value Farsight 3 as much, but like with odd recovery and stuff like that, I do.
Wow, that's weird. Okay, well, I couldn't do it, guys, but you let me know if you guys can. I personally think this guy's going to be more often fodder than not, and I normally will give you guys a build, but fine, let's just do it. Again, as always, I think it's Slick Fighter X stance, so you have non-debuff. Actually, that's bad, because he wants it to be debuff for Snow Globe, so you only have one build.
Oh, what would that be?
It would be Crafty Fighter X Unity, double Unity.
I wouldn't say it's the only viable one, but it's certainly one of his best ones, yeah.
What else is he going to be good with? Because he shouldn't run Slick Fighter. It'll break Snow Globe.
You're not wrong about that, but like, I'd certainly say like Vengeful Fighter is still solid for him, or even Bold Fighter like on AR defense.
Okay, that's a bit weird. So I think there's a very clear-cut best build for him, which would be Crafty Fighter X Unity, and that would probably be for attack defense Unity. Because he already has attack res. I think that's it.
Yeah, like you could do distance offense 4 as well, because the neutralizing bonus of the foes is pretty good.
Yeah, true. But you don't have too many options here because Snow Globe Unity already takes away one of the best ones. Vengeful is not bad, but Vengeful is not the best criteria. It's 50%, and extra cooldown does help, but you probably use like Glacies or something in that case. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't think he needs it. Right. It also depends on comp, but I don't think he needs the extra damage output.
Yeah, I think it'll work really well with the new spell for sure if you're afraid of missing kills.
Okay, yeah, I see that. It's a very interesting thought. Yeah, guarding Muspel is one of the best things you can do if you're savior units.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing this week. It's been pretty nice.
Okay. So, entire point is, he's good. He's actually really good, but if we talk about units who should be using his kit, I unfortunately don't think he's one of them, because I think with some comparisons you guys will see. Alright, Silver Saint Artur versus Uplifting Love Alphonse. 43 HP versus 43, match. 38 attack versus 41, 3-point advantage for Artur. 25 speed versus 19, 6-point advantage for Alphonse. 37 defense versus 35, 2-point advantage for Alphonse. And then 31 res versus 41 res, 10-point advantage for Artur. Holy crap, that's way more than I thought.
Yeah, he's pretty solid res-wise for sure.
That's really interesting. So what's Alphonse's BST?
His BST is 174.
So 5-point advantage for Artur, and then he's more min-max in terms of speed versus res. Would you rather have mid-20s in speed or sub-20 in speed?
I think there's arguments for both, but I don't think mid-20s is enough to salvage it at all, so I think I'd rather use the 19 speed on Artur and get a lot more res.
I agree with you. So, that's the reason, chat. But it's still a plus 10 unit versus potentially a plus 10. I know some of you... There are literally people here in this stream right now with multiple plus 10 Alphonses. That's how bad it is. Oh, man. Solna, are you still here? He's probably not, but there are people, a bunch of people with plus 10 Alphonses. And the thing with Alphonse is at least it doesn't feel so bad not to get Artur's weapon, even though it's nice. Because Alphonse's weapon is already really, really good with healing and attack res -5.
Yeah, I'd even argue to fodder it to Artur himself as well, because they're both pretty solid, yeah. Because the healing is like a pretty not really standard thing you get from obviously passive skills, so yeah, I'd say the weapon is pretty worth it.
Yeah, especially if you have a Slick Fighter Alphonse and you definitely don't care about it.
Right.
Alright, well, that's the best comparison. What else? Alright, guys. Happy Vampire Henry versus Silver Saint Artur. 36 HP, 33 attack, 34. Wait, why am I listening? Me tired. 36 HP versus 43. Oh my god, it's why are we even doing this? 36 HP versus 43. 7-point advantage for Artur. 33 attack versus 41. 8-point advantage for Artur. 34 speed versus 19. Oh, well, he has advantage there. 15 speed advantage for Henry. 26 defense versus 35. 9-point advantage for Artur. And then 36 res versus 41 res. 5-point advantage for Artur. In other words, don't build Henry. There's no point to him. Actually, nobody built Henry. Actually, no, some people did back in the day.
I used to want to build him, but yeah, like, the speed is solid here, but the attack just does not compensate.
Yeah. and a defense and res definitely does not compensate. Artur is just superior in every way. But was Henry our first? He was.
Yep,
Green mage.
Yeah.
Armor.
He's the 3 we've compared so far, the only 3 in the game.
Only 3 in the game. All right, fair enough, chat. But that's your closest comparison directly. Now, I do want to do a common comparison. Who's the most common? It's Henriette, isn't it? Mage.
Farsaver?
Farsave unit.
Mage Farsave unit, then yeah, Henriette.
All right, well, the most common of the Farsave mages, Henriette, Overflowing Love. 40 HP versus 43, 1 point advantage for Artur. 40 attack versus 41, 1 point advantage for Artur. 18 speed versus 19 speed, 1 point advantage for Artur. What the heck? What? 35 defense versus 35 match, and the 40 res versus 41 res, 1 point advantage for Artur. He's better in every way. What? All 5-point advantage went into just slightly better. Wow.
That's pretty fun, yeah.
That's hilarious. In other words, if you see Henriette and she's so good, Artur is basically the same thing. Now, it is green versus red, and I would rather take red because
right. Yeah, red is a lot better.
Yeah, the color does make a big difference. Right. That's why you don't see Alphonse's very often, because it gets smoked.
Yeah, I only ever see Alphonse on defense.
All right. So, with that said, guys, Artur is definitely going to work. However, we should do one more comparison. Is he still the most recent slow green mage?
I believe he is.
All right, so that's a fair comparison in my books. 41 HP versus 43, 2 point advantage for Artur, 37 attack versus 41, 4 point advantage for Artur, and 17 speed versus 19, 2 point advantage for Artur, 40 defense versus 35, 5 point advantage for Gatekeeper, and then 36 res versus 41, 5 point advantage for Artur. It's kind of funny in a way because they're pretty close. It's like a defense res swap. Wow. That's because their BSC are very close together anyways.
Mm-hmm. Huh. Yeah, like the infantry versus armor thing here is very minimal.
Right. So, with all that said, I don't know. I think Gatekeeper is really good, but I haven't even seen good applications of Gatekeeper yet. I've like never feared him.
Yeah, I've never like feared him, but I've definitely underestimated him. Like for example, in Summoner's Duel and AR defense.
I think in like a 1 AR defense, I was just like, wow, this is moderately annoying, and it like took 1 extra turn to win instead.
Yeah, it's like I have to think a lot more. It's not really necessary that I'm afraid he's going to like ruin my offense at all.
Yeah. I think we fought one recently where he had like instant Ignatz, and I was like, well, I have all my ladders for this season. Let's just take the hit. And he couldn't kill. I was so sad.
That is really sad.
You know? All right, guys, but it's very clear Artur is good. However, I cannot recommend him because I just don't see the point of a green savior unit. Personally, he's good, but I think he's better off as fodder, especially once we get to our final hero, who I will absolutely be recommending as a far save unit. But that'll be then.